Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer, out on another walk, and I'm continuing my little series of church to church walks. And today I'm in West Sussex. I'm very close to the border with Hampshire, just off the A272 and south at a church called St Peter's. Now, I'm going to be doing a bit of a circular route to Rogate, which I believe is only about 2 or 3 miles in that direction. But my walk is going to take me north over the A27, round to Rogate Church, which is my second church, and then back down here again and round to the car park where I am. So we're going to start here. This is St Peter's. It's just off a little lane off the A27, and you go 272, and you go past it and you see the little sign saying St Peter's Church, and it's one of those that I've been desperate to go and have a visit. So here it is. It's a very lovely church. Inside it looks I suppose about 12th century, something like that. I may be wrong. I'm not really aiming these walks to be a complete history of the church. This is just my starting point. So I'm going to start first of all by heading north. The interesting thing about this walk is you have to go through the churchyard. There's a nice car park, as I say, at the front of the church, and then the public footpath sign indicates that you come through the church. I've not done this walk before, so this is all an exploration for me, so we'll see how we go. We come from here into a meadow which at the moment just looks like it's grass with a bit of wildflower, some cow parsley, stinger nettles and all that sort of stuff, and I can hear the 272 in the distance, so clearly I've got to make my way up there. Wow, I've seen people posting pictures of these wonderful flowers, fields of them. They're lupins, and I think this is the first time I've ever seen them before. Presumably they have been planted before, but I think I'm a lot more, having been doing the Bald Explorer, a lot more aware of the stuff that's being grown and flowers and that sort of thing. And there's a whole field here, obviously sown. I don't know what people sow them for, perhaps for sale, for just, you know, for flowers, but they're most delightful. This is what coming out on a walk, you might think the walk is going to be pretty similar wherever you go across fields and things, but it's not. Every time there's something interesting to explore. And here we go, lupins. I don't know if you can see it, just here there is a National Trust sign buried in the bracken. It's interesting because sometimes they have the circular signage with the name of the place or whatever is the part of National Trust. I don't know quite whether this is saying this is the beginning of, I don't know, the South Downs, or this particular area is part of National Trust property. I can't get to it because of all these. I tried just now, but I just stung my legs, so I'm not going any further to find out. There's a footpath sign off the A272 which goes back to the church. I've barely gone anywhere. I've now got to cross the A272. It's very busy, and then try and pick up the other side of the path. It may be a bit of a zigzag, but we'll see. Public way. Do you know, it is so easy, even when you're reading an OS map, to get it wrong. There's a little route up here that looked like that was where I was supposed to go. To me, I felt that was the right direction. There's a sign there that says private, no public right of way. And I was a bit quizzical because normally you see the public sign. Then there's this one here which points this way, which seemed to be skirting the A272 when I wanted to go north. So I was a bit confused. Then a lovely lady came out of one of the houses waiting for a lift and was picked up, and I just asked her, which is the right route? She told me this is the right route, so that's great. Sometimes you've just got to ask the locals. Glad I did. Well, it turns out that this is a sunken lane. The banks, you can see behind me, do this. So this must be a pretty old track that's going north, I think to a little settlement or something, or a hamlet or something. I'll double check on my map. But on a day like today, which is an extremely hot day in the 30s, filming in July, towards the end of July, and we've had this little mini heat wave, and actually this is a joy to be able to get under the canopy of the trees here. And we've got all sorts. We've got holly, which indicates that it must be fairly ancient, and then there's some oak and some ash and some hazel I see around me, and the roots all on the sides of the banks. Very, very lovely. Right, well, let's press on. Dribbling with sweat already. Well, it's all been uphill. I went through the little hamlet area which is called Terwick Common, and there's some beautiful houses there, all hidden away, very expensive houses, one has to say, and if you've got the money, why not? It's a wonderful opportunity to be in the middle of nowhere, a few neighbours and what have you. The trees, variety of different trees coming up that path. Here I'm surrounded by fir trees, but obviously more holly. I've seen bamboo and rhododendrons. Some fir cones have picked up, and an abundance everywhere I go at the moment. These are the catkins from sweet chestnuts, and they're all over the place. I saw a van covered in them, so that's pretty good. There was a telephone box that I came across, and a post box. The telephone box has had the phone removed with nothing in it. You know, sometimes you get those defibrillators, but that's not there. Across the road, and I'm just heading up north, and then I think I come to another road and turn left and start my circle round. What have we got here? Finning or Fining, I'm not quite sure. Finning I'll go with because it's a Y, who knows, probably an old word. Finning Recreational Ground, it says here, Rogate Parish Council, which that's quite interesting in itself. But so I came out at the top, turned left as I said, and then the road that I've travelled on passes a route further north onto Finning or Fining Hill, and this seems to be part of the Fining Hill estate. Opposite me there's obviously a sweet chestnut coppice. They're growing some sweet chestnuts. They look very resplendent, quite young, but slowly growing, which is lovely. Over here it seems that this is a recreation ground. Walking along the road, there's part of the estate I think has stables and a stud or something like that. I did see the lane going up, but didn't see any horses or anything. And loads of rhododendrons. So at one time this must have been a big house, planted gardens, because that sort of tends to be how these rhododendrons get everywhere. We've got lots of holly, which suggests this is pretty ancient anyway, and also rowan trees, yeah, with the orange berries in abundance, and they're all over the place. So it's actually fantastic. I think actually this here is a rowan tree. So yeah, this lane here goes back south, but that's not the one I want. There's another one a little further along, so I'm going to keep going. But interesting. Well, this is rather jolly. A nice chair. Better than that though, just in front of these ferns, or rather behind these ferns, is this amazing view. A wonderful view of the South Downs. So Rogate must be just over there, and these are the South Downs that will sweep into Hampshire and then that way meander or undulate, I suppose, through West Sussex, East Sussex to Beachy Head. Terrific, terrific view, and what a thoughtful thing for people to come for a walk through these woods. And I'm guessing coming up the lane which is, or the pathway which is in front of me, and then up onto here to relax and maybe have a sandwich or something like that. That would be rather nice. Oh, it's nice to be able to have a bit of a sit down. And of course, if one wanted to, you could lie on here and have a bit of a snooze. But I've got to get to the other church yet, so no mucking about, no sitting down for me. Well, I have arrived. Finally, my walk is now over and I've reached my second church in a slightly circuitous, but I have to say, very beautiful route. This is St Batholomews in Rogate. So I went through this field, as you saw, of sweet corn, incredible field, wonderful little adventure going through there. Came out onto the road and made my way down to Rogate. And it's on the busy A272. Of course, in my photographs it looks very quiet and not busy at all, and that's because I just waited for the traffic. But actually, I can believe you me, it is very busy, and it does thunder through the little village. It's a beautiful church. I've been inside, had a quick look and poke around. I think there's a history that it fell into disrepair, and then in the late Victorian period, I believe, it has been brought back to life, and of course was used and still is in use in the community here. It looks very well looked after. There's a children's area for Bible readings. There's this wonderful shingle covered bell tower with a nice clock which probably went up in the Victorian period, I imagine, with a weather vane. It's now got a tiled roof, very large sloping tiled roof, and north and south aisles. So very lovely church. That's my second church, but that's really the end of my walk. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed that. I will be out again to do another church to church walk very soon. So if you've enjoyed it, don't forget to follow, like, subscribe. Do become a patron. A small donation or a monthly cup of coffee, the price of a cup of coffee, would be absolutely fantastic. It does help me put petrol in the car and get out on these videos. In the meantime, leave a comment, tell me of walks that you've done, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, goodbye.